This is part 4 of Mastering Data Frames with Row64 using Python. In this series, we explore how to load data, sort it, and manipulate data to prepare it for data analysis. I'm your host, Paul Trin. Thanks for joining me. Hey guys, thanks for joining me, Paul Trin with Row64, doing more Python tutorials, and today we're going to look at how you can delete columns from a data frame. I'm super excited to show you this. I'll show it to you both in Python and also in Row64. So, by now, you've probably already seen a couple videos, and you can kind of see where we're headed with Row64 being really a great data manipulation and data collaboration tool. Specifically, if you want to know how to delete columns, there is a recipe for that inside of Row64. It's inside of transform. So we want to transform this database. We want to remove some columns. How do we do that? Right here, you'll see there's a delete columns recipe. If we click insert, you can see the Python immediately comes right into play. And if we wanted to delete column A, this is the syntax on the spreadsheet style side. If I were to remove that, that just updates the Python on the right. So let's just say, for example, we wanted to just type that in. It's delete call, right? It's the same exact thing as before. And if I want to delete column A, I do AA just like you would a spreadsheet, and I close the gap. I can actually pass in multiple columns here too. So I can do like BB, comma, CC, right? And that would hit run. But let's go ahead and analyze what we're doing in Python so that we can truly understand what's going on under the frame. So what Row64 is doing is when you write this syntax here is we're writing this Python over here automatically on the right. And you can see here we're obviously importing and we're staying with Pandas because we're working with the data frame. And what we're creating is a new function, right? And that function gets passed two arguments. It gets passed a data frame and it gets passed some kind of list, right? And that list is a list of the actual columns that we want to delete. At least that's the logic behind this, right? It's like kind of an object-oriented approach to coding. It's really simple and really clean. And you can see from here, what we're doing is we're creating a little list here, an array, and for every single column, basically, we're basically going to append or remove or drop that column that we don't want anymore, and then it will return a new data frame, which will then be displayed in Row64. The best part, you don't have to print a console, so you can immediately see the impact that your code has on the data frame. So let's just go ahead and see this. This basically says we're going to read in, right? This piece right here is reading in the data set, which we talked about in another video, and then this piece here is making a copy of we've already read, right? And then we're basically going to go through and pass through delete column. We're going to call this now this function that we made up above, right? And we're going to pass in the data frame that we want to basically remove columns from, and then we're going to basically get rid of these three columns. Here's the beautiful thing about Row64. Once you have this in here, you can actually just change this immediately, and everything just kind of changes. So if you click over to B, I want to get rid of that, and I want to get rid of this, you can see the Python on the right side immediately respond. And then what we do is we just hit run, and that's it. So you could do this in two ways. You can do purely on the Python side on the right, or you can adopt the new way that Row64 is approaching and use a recipe world. And also, if you don't want to document this, you can actually do it another way too. You can actually just go right inside the data frame, select the column you want to get rid of, right click and click delete, and it gets rid of it. Just like that. Super easy and super fast. Once again, my name is Paul Trin, and I'm with Row64 doing Python tutorials. Hope you found this helpful. Talk soon.